Well, good morning, and look at this, another beautiful box of produce from the community garden. So we will definitely be getting into and tackling this. Well, hello. Good morning. Welcome back for another large family meals of the week adventures and whatever else in the world is going on. I'm going to peel down some buffalo eggs. Breakfast for some folks this morning, and we will do chicken salad with it as we do. We also have the other steak filling to wash those dishes later. We got some school stuff and some life stuff and all kinds of things going on around here. Thank you to CTC Math for sponsoring today's video. Click the first link in the description below. Head to ctcmath.com/LFT for 50% off plus up to 6 months free for your students' math. And so now I am working on peeling some of the eggs that I had boiled, and we are going to make up some egg salad. And we do have our dishes that are drying and decorating the island still. Just a little something extra special we have going on here. I don't remember now. It's all in the vortex. When did the dishwashers officially die? I think it was in May, maybe. And yeah, it's a saga that's ongoing. And I do believe I am to the point where I am just going to order us some new dishwashers. So we will get there. But I think at this point in life, I was still looking forward to, or still hopeful that I might be able to have them repaired. And I've got a posse of kids outside in the sunshine. So I'm going to get outside with them. I got a good couple miles in walking earlier this morning, but I don't have my run in yet. So I'm going to hopefully get all or a good part of that in. I think on my little running plan today, it's running at a fast pace for 4 minutes, and then it's maybe walking or jogging for a minute or two in between, but going through intervals of doing that 6 times. And I think there's a 10-minute running warm-up at the beginning and the end. So if I can't get that done straight, I'll just pause my watch and get done what I can't get done. But it feels like it's definitely fall weather here in Virginia. I think it's supposed to be 78 today. I'm watching folks right out my kitchen window here. So I'm hopeful I'll be able to get in a good part of today's running assignment this morning. And I checked in as far as breakfast items, and everybody has eaten throughout the morning. So I'm just making this into egg salad. We do have about 2 dozen ears of corn shucked from the garden, and I showed you that box of goodies that I got last evening. So I'm thinking that at least all the peppers in that I will chop down and get in the freezer. And then the eggplants, I'd like to do an eggplant lasagna again. I do that gluten-free. So that'll be some good options. They also, we are picking up Full Cow that I've been talking about, and the bundle of homegrown chickens. It's 15 or so chickens, and I think 15 dozen eggs. 2 different farms. We're picking that up later this week. And I do plan to continue to work through the ribs that are in the freezer. Those aren't something that I can make in big batch and we reheat as easily. So I need to do smaller batches like for dinners, but everybody loves them and eats them and gobbles them up. I just need to work on only doing the amount we need for that. Does that make sense? So anyway, you know, other meats are easier to reheat and such, but if it's just the ribs, I will slow roast them. I think last time I did them on 250 over a couple hours. I'll check those numbers though. That might be what I end up doing for dinner tonight. We'll just kind of see how the day goes. I have a pretty steady like phone call, check writing, handling life type task list for today. We're also going to a local Lego club this afternoon, which will be fun, and just kind of in and out throughout the day. But hey, we now have some egg salad. I did not put any salt and pepper in that yet. Let me do that. And canners and jars are still out from recent adventures. I also would like to get the tomatoes going tomorrow. I'm going to film a dedicated tomato video, but I'll definitely be showing you some behind the scenes views of what's going on with all of that. So it should be a good food project and life week around here. Okay, that's probably good. I'm just gonna stop messing with this now. Got these dishes soaking. Plastic wrap on top of this. I can line things up here. I know one of the things I was going to do, so I have an egg and potato bake that I also brought up, and I'm gonna just go ahead and get that cooking through. And that'll be ready at lunchtime. Again, I've got a house full of people. I have like 4 extra people here right now. A lot's always happening. And if I go ahead and cook this through, then it'll be another lunch option for later too. We did these in July. So this is an example of freezer cooking we did in mid-July, still helping us out here in September, and I appreciate that. And there I am a little bit later taking that breakfast casserole back out, and that just gives some lunch options. I mean, hey, a breakfast casserole with eggs and sausage and organic Azure potatoes all mixed together there. I'm sure I had some cheese and other fun goodies in it. We can watch that original video and see what all I put in there. But that and some fruit for lunch. Hey, look, we meal prepped. So now I am labeling my beef broth cans that I did, my jars that I can't, with our homemade beef broth. Gonna label those and get those down on our canning shelves, and just keep shuffling on to our next project. Thanks again to CTC Math for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to click the first link down in the description below. Head to ctcmath.com/LFT for 50% off a phenomenal K-12 math program for your students, plus up to 6 months free. CTC Math offers a comprehensive, complete curriculum for grades K through 12. They cover all key areas of math, including algebra, geometry, trigonometry, calculus, and more. This ensures that students have access to all the necessary materials they need to excel in their math studies. CTC Math offers a flexible learning pace. One of the standout features of CTC Math is its flexibility. Students can learn at their own pace, which is especially beneficial for homeschoolers. Whether they need to slow down to grasp challenging concepts or speed up when they find topics easier, CTC Math accommodates all learning speeds. There's engaging video tutorials that teach concepts in a clear and concise manner. Each video is designed to be short and focused, helping to keep the students' attention and making complex topics easier to understand. There's detailed reporting for parents. CTC Math provides detailed progress reports for parents, allowing them to track their students' progress, identify areas where they might need extra help, and also celebrate their success. This feature is incredibly useful for homeschool parents who want to stay informed about their child's learning journey. CTC Math also offers interactive and adaptive learning. The curriculum includes interactive questions and adaptive learning technology, and this adjusts with the difficulty based on the student's performance.
It also helps to provide a personalized learning experience, ensuring that each student is challenged appropriately. CTC Math is also a cost-effective solution, so don't forget to click the first link in the description below. Head to ctcmath.com/LFT for 50% off and up to 6 months free, plus a 12-month money-back guarantee. CTC Math is a cost-effective solution for families. With a single subscription, you can access the entire curriculum for all of your children, making it an affordable option for families with multiple students. Again, click the first link in the description below. Head to ctcmath.com/LFT.
Well, good morning. Happy new day. Things that are happening in my life that don't make total sense, but make a good bit of sense. Hold on, I need to get the tallow. And yet I do these food videos and I share about food. And so I don't know how to do this and this not be part of the story, because this is part of the story. I have shared with you my internal inflammation, health concerns, and the elimination diet that my doctor wants me to do for at least 30 days, and how we've been kind of slowly baby stepping me onto it. And so it's September now, and I've been doing it like 97%. I've been doing pretty good. I need to be able to get on it 100%. So this brings me to why I have a pack of New York strip steaks, $2.99 a pound. No, I wish, $12.47 a pound. Is that right? $12.47, and it's a 2.99 pound pack. Okay, what is happening? So one of the main things on this elimination diet that he wants me to focus on while we clear so much out of my body. And yes, we're picking up the full grass-fed, grass-finished cow here in a few days, but like you know, we've been using up, okay, is this going now? We've been using up odds and ends pieces in my freezer. I did not put my tallow on this yet. Pardon me. And I have someone I'm expecting coming, so that's why I keep looking over my shoulder to see if they're here yet. So it's been great using up the beef pieces, because ruminant animals are animals with a ruminant with multiple stomachs. So it's a short list of protein that he wants me to eat while we eliminate so much else from my body and detox and all of that. And cow, beef, is the best thing in my situation. And so using up the odds and ends cuts, and you know, like the oxtail that I did recently, and all of that great gluttonous broth. Also the ribs, and I do plan to do ribs tonight for dinner for my folks. But anyway, I need some quick things that I can eat, where, you know, eggs and zucchini and those kind of things are my breakfast many times, or oatmeal, or, I mean, list the rainbow of variety, healthy, I feel like healthy, but maybe not healthy for my body, I don't know what's happening, foods. So right now, I'm pretty much down to beef. And I need some quick things to feed myself. And so I ordered, thank you that we live in an age of Walmart delivery, just a couple packs of Walmart steak cuts, because that is something that I can eat. And even though it's, you know, it's Walmart meat, it's still meat. It came to my door. I'm cooking it in my tallow. And because cows have multiple stomachs, I'm not your nutritionist or my nutritionist. I'm just a woman trying to stay alive here. They process down the things they eat many times, which means, thank you, Lord, that you bless this steak I'm going to eat for my breakfast and my lunch. And we'll have those grass-fed ribs tonight. Yeah. So I ordered myself some quick meat cuts that I can throw in the air fryer. I'm still cooking for 9 to 10, or like yesterday we had 12 or 14 people here. Still cooking for a lot of people. In a lot of ways, it makes feeding myself even easier because the list of things I can eat. If you didn't see my health update, we need to eliminate all gluten, all dairy, all the toxins we can. We need to strip me down to basically the bare minimum, check my inflammation levels, and then test back one food at a time. It's like, why not, right? Why not? This seems like a great time to do that. But I do want to get on top of the inflammation, and I do want to continue to save my children's mother. You know, all these great things. And there are people, you know, I'm a big, let me stand here and talk to you and hold my stick. You know, I'm a big Trim Healthy Mama, like I love Trim Healthy Mama. And I have been reading about, there are ladies who do Trim Healthy Mama, and they also do it gluten-free and dairy-free. So many things in this food system world. But again, a lot of what I can eat right now just needs to be stripped down. It's just another layer of healing through this healing journey that I have been on with my body. You know, I started over 3.5 years ago when I was pregnant with Tobin and ended up in the hospital with my kidney, and got back on Trim Healthy Mama then. As the story goes, took almost 2 years before the weight loss needle started to really move. I lost 25 pounds, and that 25 pounds was pretty much over a year. And then over the past year, so I've lost more. But what's different in the past years, I also added in heavy movement. I just went this morning to work with my trainer again for an hour. I ran the last 2 days. I got 22,000 steps yesterday. I mean, I moved my body a lot. And now I've lost, I'm almost to the 70-pound loss mark. I think I'm at like 63, 64-ish pounds, but I'm going to that 70-pound mark. We're gonna keep just, but what I'm doing now is more about getting my inflammation down. I'm not focusing on the weight loss. I just talk about it because it's something that's happening too. So mid-afternoon, Mama had to mail some stuff at the post office, so we just took that opportunity. I mean, it's still technically summer to get a little ice cream hit for those who wanted it, and we are at our shady river playground for probably about 30 or 45 minutes, and then we'll head back home and get back to work. Alrighty, we are back from our little extra afternoon running around, and I am going to get that corn going that we chucked probably 2 days ago. Like I said, assessing what we have left. I think we have enough chicken from Hungry Root from last night, and some rice, and a few little odds and ends for dinner. But I'm gonna add with it corn for tonight, and that'll be good. Alrighty, so here's the corn and how that has turned out. We also have the egg salad we made the other day. There's a little bit left. Some folks have toasted some of these bagels from the freezer from Sharp Shopper and have made toasted egg salad sandwiches with some corn. This chicken from Hungry Root is pretty well cooked, pretty well picked down now. I was just going after the last little pieces there. And we have a little bit of rice left. And we got some watermelon that we're going to pull out too. And this is kind of using up the leftovers, throw together dinner tonight. Well, good morning, friends. I'm getting a little sensible pot out. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I have another oatmeal request. Maybe we'll do, I was gonna say mid-century modern. Maybe we'll do mid-sensible. I don't think I should do my gigantic pot, although this one is seeming a little small. I think this is the one I did oatmeal in several days ago, and like the Three Bears. That one worked out just right. Woo, so I think we'll do that again. Although this pot needs dried out a little more. So anyway, we're gonna get this pot going, just cleaning up a few things I moved around from last night, and I'm pretty sure that today is tomato day. I had some things that came up yesterday that took a good bit of my afternoon. I think today's the day, and it needs to be the day because tomorrow I need to pick up the cow and farm chair.
And I am still working through this very nice thick broth from the oxtail, and what I've been doing is scooping myself probably about 2 cups worth. I'm heating it on the stovetop instead of using the microwave, and I'm just going to be drinking this throughout the morning. And I kind of measure it out in this cup, and then I'm going to warm it in the pot, and I put the fat in there and all the good things, and this is how much I have left. So here's my little pot full, and I'll just, sometimes I don't get through that quickly. Sometimes it'll just be, I don't know, over an hour or 2, and yes, I need to stir it, and it just becomes a whole thing, but that's what I'm working through this morning. Not as exciting as oatmeal. Simple things like old-fashioned oatmeal seems so exciting right now, but it also, with what I'm going through with doing this elimination diet, well, my body's doing so many things right now. It just kind of like dulls my energy anyway, and walking helps me feel better, but it's a whole stinky process, and you just, it's great. It's great to have the oxtail. It's great to have the broth. I'm like, do I have something on my face there? I can't tell with the lighting. All of those things are great. Blessed to have an oxtail to cook and heat up the broth from, and all those good things. I will be happy one day if I can do something like have some old-fashioned oats. So here's 2 starter bowls of oatmeal. I have some more folks that'll be coming through and dipping their own, and they like to eat theirs with some applesauce with it as well. And we sweetened it with some black strap molasses and some honey from Azure. And here's how our giant stock pot full of oatmeal has turned out. So I don't know who we are, but here's my Mega Mama big jar of sourdough. I am going to pour the hooch off. We are going to feed it. We have some Ezekiel bread and the bagels that I keep showing from Sharp Shopper. We're eating through those. And we have the bagels that I keep showing from Sharp Shopper, and lots of folks are toasting those, again, still with the egg salad. But one of the things I'm going to do today is pour the hooch off of that and get that sourdough starter fed. Maybe by this evening, we're starting to get some sourdough loaves fermenting. As I'm drinking my oxtail bone broth, I'm hopeful.
So I know this is a big overflowing, I think half-gallon jar or gallon jar here of sourdough starter, and I have taken it out and I have loved it and I have fed it at different times and I have discarded at different times. I'm not going to discard now. I mean, I did just feed it 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of water, and it's probably going to bubble over, ha. But when I go to make bread, you know, we don't just make a little sourdough bread. We do a lot, and I think that is definitely what my folks need some around here. And I'm just happy. I feel like we can do this. So I'm just going to stir this up, and we will let it sit out on the counter for today. Hopefully, for one of my next tricks, we will get our sourdough bread loaves fermenting. And if I can get my island cleared off, then I can have all those loaves just sit and ferment overnight. And tomorrow at some point, we could get the ovens going and do some sourdough bread baking as well. I do love this Danish whisk. I don't know if it knew of all the adventures it would have being mine, but it's living a pretty decent life around here. Okay. And this whole jar is a mess, and as I say, we're going to go through and use this, and we'll discard some and do fun, happy things with it. Get another towel just to cover it for the day. There you go. You can just sit there and like it. And also, I just had this beautiful bouquet brought in. So this is zinnias we've grown from seed, sunflowers we grew from seed, and some nasturtiums that we grew from seed. And they just put it in a nice little jar for us to enjoy. Well, good afternoon. I am pulling some dinner things together around here, but look at this. I mean, we knew it would happen. Of course it's on the towel, but look, the sourdough starter is just like trying to bubble out of the drawer. So, out of the drawer, yeah, out of the jar. We'll get to ya, we'll get to ya. We're just gonna cover and pretend like there's no problems here. Okay, so we are going to get this variety of ribs. I think I've got 2 or 3 packs left. We're going to get these in the oven going for dinner tonight. And then when this is done, we will also pull the fat off of it, strain it, and get some more tallow for the fridge and upcoming cooking adventures as well. I have this jar of tallow here, and I have some zucchini and other garden vegetables that we're going to saute up too. So I was just washing up these zucchinis from the community garden and also these fun little eggplants. What I'd like to do is slice these up and then saute them in some tallow, so I think we'll do that now.
to chop this gorgeous watermelon. And I tell you, this particular variety of watermelon was so sweet. It just, tasted like candy. But I guess for a person who doesn't have any sugar in all the other forms, having watermelon is amazing. And no, watermelon's not on my elimination diet. Again, I have to make some concessions. I am not doing my elimination diet perfectly exactly how my doctor would want me to do it quite yet. I am practicing. I am still working to get there. The big thing I tell myself, if I feel bad because I'm not doing it how I've been told that I should, is just the fact that, okay, I am sticking to being gluten-free and dairy-free. I've had several weeks now of no gluten and no dairy in my system. So obviously, don't follow me for watermelon cutting advice. I was trying to have the nice little triangles, but we don't generally cut watermelon this way, as I've shared with you before, because we are professional watermelon eaters. A lot of times we chop it like into little chunks, and it's easy for little hands, and you can fill a bowl full of it and all of that. But I just thought, oh, for something different tonight, I'll just do the little triangles. And I obviously have not cut a watermelon that way in so long. My brain does not really know what to do, and I know we are just slicing and dicing everywhere. So I feel like saying, don't try this at home, kids. But I'm enjoying the samples. It was very delicious. Let's go this way. You know what? I bet this is the way I used to do it. Okay, it's coming back now. Slice it this way, and then do the triangles. Probably something like that. That's probably it. You're probably just there telling me that. Well, it's like, if you give a mouse a cookie, if you watch a mama struggle. Okay, I think that this is the way the cookie crumbles here, watermelon. It is delicious though. I think these are called blackjacks. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me if it's the most delicious. You'll have to go over and get a napkin.
It's really good.
It's super good.
It's sweet.
It is.
So I don't like the fact that I now, quote, feel bad when I eat certain things that I regularly consider healthy. I am totally of the mindset that all of these food groups and the foods besides what has been, tampered with, man-made, finagling around, all the food groups are good and have their purposes and are needed for nutrition. But again, I'm not your nutritionist or my nutritionist, and having to do an elimination diet with the gluten and the dairy, and because I already have a lot going on in my life, this is a challenge for me. All right, folks, Mom's best try. It's still technically summer. Alrighty, so I still have another pan of ribs in there, but we have our ribs out for tonight. Everyone is so excited about those. We have some corn, a whole watermelon, and then some garden veggies. And this is what we're using to make our dinner plates tonight. And I don't even know who we are here, but look at us. We are mixing up, I believe, about 8 loaves of sourdough, and I am using, again, my friend Lisa on Farmhouse on Boone, farmhouseonboone.com, and I will link her recipe in the description below as well. This is just her easy beginner sourdough bread, and it's the recipe that I've been making time and time again now, I think for 2 years. I'm trying to remember. My life blew up, but I was in sourdough summer. I think I started, it must not be 2 years. We must get all our timelines straight. I got my sourdough starter from Lisa in March 2023, March-ish, when I went to visit her in not St. Louis, but in Missouri. I flew into St. Louis. There's my travel details. Anyway, she sent me home with a tablespoon of the starter, and we have grown it from there. So I have not been doing I've not had the starter for 2 years. I've had it for almost a year and a half now, and then I've had big gaps of time, like 6, 7, 12 weeks at a time here and there, through various life situations where my starter has just gone in the refrigerator and waited. But early spring, summer 2023, we really got going with this. Alrighty, so I just did my first round of stretch and folds on these 8 loaves of sourdough bread. I'm gonna go get my pajamas on now and work on my journal until my next round. Usually it's about 30 minutes or so, and I got 2 more rounds to go. Well, happy day. It is a big day around here. I feel like I've been moving in slow motion throughout the morning, but look, we have our 8 loaves of sourdough bread. Actually, later today, I need to take them, roll them into a ball, get them in the bread basket, get them in the downstairs refrigerators, and let them continue to do a long ferment until tomorrow, when we will actually bake sourdough bread. Look at this, who are we? But today is the day that I have been talking about for weeks now, where I am going to J&L Green Farm and I'm picking up my bundle of homegrown, local, organic, pasture raised, all those good things, chickens, just like the chickens I have pasture raised here and butchered in years past. This year, J&L Green Farm just did that for me. So I'm picking up that bundle of chickens and I'm picking up 15 dozen eggs because I don't have my own eggs right now. And I'm trying to make these little steps to get back to homegrown and all those good things as much as possible. And we're doing it. And I'm proud of us. Okay. So I'm not sure. I'm just not sure space-wise as far as vehicles and picking things up. So J&L Green Farm is in that direction. And then Red Bank's Farm is in another direction where we're gonna pick up a full cow. Both things picking up today. So we're gonna go get the chickens, possibly bring them back home, then flip back around to get the cow. But here's our sourdough sitting here and liking it. And I am having another cup of this broth from the oxtail with little oxtail bits of meat. It's just the gift that keeps on giving. I think by tomorrow I'll finally be through it. But I'm drinking this. I also had a thick burger patty for my breakfast on my elimination diet that I'm doing with my doctor. So this adventure continues too. Alrighty friends, well we got all that meat picked up and filmed and organized and put away. I'll be showing you that today. The sourdough bread is still waiting. Many projects happening. I got some more things this morning, but this is the last of that broth and that tallow and that meat from the oxtail that we cooked. And so I am getting this in my cup, and this is my breakfast for today. I look rough. I feel pretty good though. Just got done walking and we're pulling things together. I need to go, well, first I need to do something with my head here. And I'm pretty much kind of accidentally on purpose, but again, all of this is with my doctor, pretty much fasting for at least 12 hours. I'm just not hungry. And so, hold on, I gotta turn my watch off from my walk. That's just how the last couple days have gone. And then I do something like this broth with the fat and the meat. And then later I'll do some other meat later in the day. I'm probably going to cook maybe 2 chickens in my big red Dutch oven later today for my family folk. That sourdough bread, in a perfect world yesterday, I would have taken that, rolled it, got it in the bread baskets, got it back in the refrigerators for like 24 hours or so. Didn't do that yet. It's still out. Doing a really long first ferment there. But we'll see how it turns out. I just couldn't get to it yesterday with hauling meat from two sides of the county and getting it back and doing all the things that were required with it. We'll get that taken care of and get in bread baskets, or it might just wait till this afternoon. We'll get to it. And so yeah, this isn't sourdough, but this is some Saturday inspiration, deep cleaning and organizing that I'm doing. All of this is different bags of clothing, like toddler clothing, women's clothing. I got some cloth diapers still in the package, various things. So it's, again, my life, if you give a mouse a cookie. If you take a teenager driving, with the hours and the distances we need to do, I've had on my to-do list to drop off several bags of clothing to a local location that gives clothing and like shoes that are still in nice shape and clothes for babies, for single moms and their children in hard situations. And so as we're gearing up to go driving this afternoon, I'm like, oh, if I could go through and get those bags organized, we could drop these items off, which would be good. And so plan is right now, and I know the crickets are singing with us, I'm going to go through and get some stuff organized. And there's some things in here I need for my 7 and 9-year-old boys that are getting ready to go into like the next level of clothing for warm winter stuff. So we're going to get this organized. It is going to my friend, who then her service is she washes everything fresh, gets it folded, and gets it directly to the moms. So all of this stuff is clean, but it has been in my basement. And so my dryer is also broke. Yay. But I'm going to do my part and get the things to her. She's going to do her part, get everything fresh, get it to the moms. Like for my 11-year-old daughter, I have some brand new nice fresh Nikes that we bought last spring. She wore them maybe 2 or 3 months. She's grown out of them already. She has different shoes for this fall. But those are shoes that a young girl could still use just the same. Okay, anyway, so you're going to watch me organize all this really fast, quick, and in a hurry. I wish that it really was that fast, but we're going to do this, and then we're going to get back to that sourdough that's bossing us around. So this project was definitely not on my to-do list for this day, but as I like to say, you know, if you give a mouse a cookie, if you give a mom a moment, and I know that there's needs that need to be met. I know that 2 boys in my house also needed for me to go through these clothes to get some fall and winter things going for them, so they have some options from some Big Brother clothing. I know there's a lot of things that my kids and myself have not been using, and when I get that big of a collection of clothes, I know I need to pass those on to other moms and children who can use them now. No reason for them to stay in my storage for 2 or 3 years. There was definitely a time in my farmhouse days where I held on to every scrap of clothing, and I had kids that were stair-step just right, and you know, we could follow the hand-me-downs and fill in here and there as needed. But in many years since that time, when I don't have kids matching up with sizes, it's best for me to pass them on. And so I'm going through all of these bags. Again, all of these things are clean. I just have my own adventure because, as I say, my dryer broke too. It's great. It's so fantastic. So anyway, I'm going through and making sure clothing is, you know, not turned inside out, and at least getting like clothing and sizes in the 30-gallon trash bag, so it makes it easier for my friend who processes them, washes them, and gets them to the families who need them now. I did hear back just some great statements from families who received these items, and some of the items were exact items that they needed, like for work interviews and kids in school and those kind of things. So it's definitely better than continuing to have these items in my basement. But on this particular day, I just thought, you know what? I can set a timer. I can keep listening to my audiobook. I think at this point I was still listening through maybe Anne of Windy Poplars, or I was on Anne's House of Dreams. I made a commitment to myself to listen through all the Anne of Green Gables books, and I've been slowly working through them. From the future, I am on, I believe it's Anne of Inglewood. I'm getting pretty far. Anne has 5 kids now where I am in the series. Anne has grown up. So I like to listen to my audiobook while I do projects like this. I do have other things in my basement I want to go through and get organized and donate and pass on. But on this day, going through so many bags of clothing and getting them in the direction of their new owners was a great feeling. And my friend is so quick. I believe within 48 hours, she had everything washed, folded, and divided down for different families based on the needs she knows, and got them directly to them. So that is great. And I also went around my house and we found more coat hangers, and my 7 and 9-year-old got their sweatshirts and new pants and things they need as we do roll into fall weather. Got all of those hung up and where they needed to be. Okay, so this actually has a clothes basket under it, and this is a large stack for my 7.5 and 9.5-year-old boys. Lots of winter things, lots of long sleeve things. These were their teen brothers' clothes when they were, ages 8 to 12, that I have saved. So there's the laundry basket, there's the mountain, and we're going to get this processed and put away in their closet for this coming winter and next spring. And then these bags here, this is a lot of baby boy stuff, also like a Moby baby wrap, unopened cloth diapers, unopened like car seat covers and such, lots of onesies. We have some clothes for women in there, and then these 3 bags are like size 14, 16 boy clothes. I do like to, when I can, pass things on to other moms and kids who will need them in the meantime, because I don't currently have boys in 14, 16s. It'll probably be at least another 1 to 2 years until I do, and so there's other kids that can have these in the meantime. And then I have a bath seat that I need to clean out that's also going in that direction, and probably an extra pack and play. All right, we got a lot of things going on in the kitchen. This is just where we flipped a towel over on the clean dishes so that I have room to hold this bread. And then we're finally going to go do our clothing and baby items delivery. And this sourdough that's going, it really just depends on the temperature of the kitchen and all those things. I think we'll be okay. I have enough real life that happens whenever I'm cooking and doing projects and stuff, and things turn out well a good bit of the time. So let's see, I need to get my little baskets with some flour in too. How exciting is this? I'm going to open another little thing of flour in a minute. So at this point, before I go out to deliver all those clothing and also do some teen driver hours, I just wanted to do the next step with this sourdough. Like I said, the sourdough was bossing me around. I knew it had been on my counter since the day before. I knew that I needed to get it just plopped out, do some more little stretching on it, roll it in a little flour, and then get it in a floured basket. And then it can go into my refrigerator and do whatever it is, the second round it needs to do, but it can stay in there quite a while. It says in the directions, I believe it's usually until the next day. Maybe it says 12 hours. It depends on the bread. I have a tired mom brain. Would you believe that? But again, I'm going to link the directions below. But I know personally, being Lisa's friend and talking to her about sourdough, I know that she has shared that sometimes things stay in the refrigerator just for days until you can get back to it. And I know summer 2023, early summer, before life blew up, when I was in a pretty good sourdough routine, I was able to have sourdough prepped and ready to go, and then just waited until I actually needed to bake it. Of course, we baked our big batches, but also I would have some batches that were just ready to go, and if it was a few days before I got to them, that was okay. So anyway, I am so excited to be getting 8 homemade loaves of sourdough bread. Next process, I mean, we're going to bake this bread and we're going to eat it. I'm hopeful. Will we get some in the freezer? I don't know. My people go through it very quickly, and we'll see how it all works out. I'm not so sure. I don't know. If I was baking a dozen, if I was baking 12, I would say, well, I could put 4 in the freezer and let them go at the rest. But if I have 6 to 8 loaves of sourdough in the refrigerator, they will go through them. It's like if you make the sourdough, they will come. They will go through them probably within 3 or 4 days, if not sooner. Just depends on what kind of meals we're having with it. But they'll slice it down and use it for sandwich bread. It'll go along with soups. It can be a meal. Like I think I already mentioned sourdough and butter and boys running out in the sunshine. Give them a glass of milk and an apple, and you're doing pretty well. So look at this. We're gonna put 8 loaves now in one of the downstairs refrigerators, and we will just deal with these later tomorrow. Or actually, my friend Lisa from Farmhouse on Boone, she's even told me this in the past, and I know I've done this too. Sometimes they just sit in the refrigerator for several days until I get back to baking them. But I think tomorrow, maybe the next day, let's say tomorrow, we'll get them baked. All right, so yesterday this minivan carried a full cow and other adventures, and today it carries a bunch of donations. And look at this, I just want to show you, like, the sunflowers are still showing up for us in September, and we appreciate that. Back from our driving stuff around and getting more driving experience time. Now I have another little adventure to show you. So with our 15 dozen eggs that we picked up yesterday, 2 dozen were pretty cracked up. So I had one of my folks just crack those eggs all the way into this bowl and save them for today. I did set 2 chickens out from the freezer to the refrigerator. I will be cooking those now at some point tomorrow evening. I'm gonna let those finish defrosting the rest of the way. And I'm going to do this 2 dozen cracked eggs, plus I have almost another dozen here. I've got 10 more eggs that we're gonna add to that. So I'm gonna scramble up about 3 dozen eggs, and that's gonna be a big part of our dinner tonight, plus watermelon. I'm going to use tallow as my cooking fat. I am not going to add cottage cheese or any other excitement to it because I'm going to have some as well. And with my elimination plan that I'm doing with my doctor, eggs is actually one of the things that is not on my list right now. The biggest things I'm focusing on, gluten and dairy. I'm having some eggs. I have to make some concessions, okay? And so tonight Mama will have some eggs, and that'll just be that. So many things I can say. But anyway, I'm having eggs and tallow tonight. So with my high inflammation markers that I got going on, besides the incredible stress that my body has been over for a very long season now, my doctor thinks potentially it's gluten and dairy are some of the culprits as well in my body. We don't necessarily think that it's eggs, and I am just learning as I actually stay on and complete and nourish my body and try to get through this elimination diet that some days I just need a little something. I just need a little something. Like the other day, you watched me eat that watermelon, and I just needed a little something. And it still did not have gluten and dairy. We were still okay. So I'm just thinking, tonight I'm just gonna have some scrambled eggs. And at the end of my 4 to 6 weeks, or however long this rodeo continues, I don't think that these scrambled eggs are gonna make that big of a difference. The blood work will tell. But me having scrambled eggs or a little watermelon once in a while, versus having a granola bar or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I mean, things I don't normally eat anyway, but when my body is detoxing and doing so much anyway, it can be the most random stuff I have found that can tempt me. So
letting myself have scrambled eggs tonight. Well, friends, it's a happy day. Oh, I'm dropping things. Look, isn't it always a happy day when you find your 2.5-gallon storage bags? I'm excited because whenever I brought home the full cow the other day and they gave me all those bones, the bones were not in their own separate plastic bags like everything else is. And usually when I get a full cow, they are. That's not a problem. I can totally put the bones in this. I basically got the bones and 130 pounds of fat for free. So anyway, that's a happy thing. I am getting ready in my YouTube filming matrix to film a tour of all the beef and chicken and film cooking a dinner, doing a great many things. But first, I'm going to clean off this countertop here. Like to do it with spray vinegar. I don't have any down here, so I'm just going to wipe it down with this for a moment. And then also hoping to get back to baking that sourdough today. They are in the refrigerators down here, and that'll be a happy fix. So now I'm just going through the process of wiping down the counter down here. I haven't been doing so many projects down here, but as we organize refrigerators, and of course when we picked up our whole cow and big load of chickens and work with the beef fat and all of those exciting adventures, I did need to clean my countertop over there. And now we're going to work on some organization. So what in the world? I know my massive meat video is not out quite yet, but it's a-coming. So here's your preview. And the night before, when I was getting everything in the freezers, I needed to go through and do some more organization. And so on this day, with some fresh rest, I could see how I could move my beef fat into my fruit and vegetable refrigerator. And I could move my chicken over into my pork and chicken refrigerator. And I'm also moving around some ground beef, making some more things make sense here. And I found another basket that I could also put some ground beef in. One basket didn't quite fit, but I decided to switch one out for another. So, before I get back to filming my meat video, I'm just trying to get as much of my ground beef into the ground beef freezer. Things were a little haphazard when I brought everything home the other night. And we were just happy to get it put away where it, basically could go. Just got done swinging tomatoes out of here. Ooh, almost got taken out by a sirloin steak. It won't all fit in there, which is fine. These are good life problems. Believe me, I've got bad life problems, so let me enjoy my farm-raised ground beef problems, okay? Okay. we're getting our Dutch ovens heated up to do multiple loaves of sourdough. Who are we? I didn't take my rack out last night. Get these heating up. And I have my blue one in there. Okay. I need to come down a notch here. Okay, so you know we asked a lot of this dough. Like this sourdough has been doing remarkable. And this one, we're still gonna bake it. I bet it'll actually still be delicious. Just gonna grab the little pieces that I can peel off this bowl. And you know what? It did its best. The sourdough, she did her best, okay? She's just trying to take care of herself, live her life. Be a good loaf of sourdough. So we're going to give her some grace. Going to encourage her. She can make it. She can be the most delicious loaf of sourdough. Look at her. Look at that. It's okay. We all carry our scars, right? Including the sourdough. Just move her on over. See how these four beauties turn out. This is the one that was in the metal bowl. I need to score that again. Just rinsed all of my little bread bowls out, and then also felt like I was doing my little laundry, washed all the little caps, got them cut. And so now we are doing the glorious work of getting our sourdough loaves in the oven and letting them go through the baking process. There's at one point where I need to take the lid off a certain amount of time through and let it continue to bake without the lid. I'm able to do 3 loaves at a time in my different Dutch ovens in my oven. And I'm also taking some time here to go through and work on hand washing my Mega Mama bowls and my other bowls that go with this. And I do at this point have many of my tomatoes cooking down in my 3 roaster ovens on the island, just like we did with the beef bone broth. It is now tomato time, and we are given the tomatoes time to cook down. But our bread turned out beautiful. I love this sourdough, and this sourdough loves me. All right, so amongst the sourdough, amongst the multiple hundreds of pounds of tomatoes that are processing, amongst all the kitchen projects, Mom has to eat too. So I'm getting my meat going in the air fryer. I do put some extra spoonfuls of tallow on top of it just because it's good fat and I have it, and I'm getting nourishment where I can while I do my elimination diet stuff. I already had some little folks come and get some slices of sourdough. Alrighty, I have washed my face, freshened my braid, adjusted my hat, put on my hoop earrings, just saying, mamas, gotten myself about as ready as I think I'm going to get today. I have quite a bit that I am doing, but we're doing it. I do have a fun activity I'm taking some of my little fellas to here in about an hour. So before I do that, we got one more loaf of bread that we're eyeballing. I'm gonna go get my run-in for today, so that is done, and we're gonna keep on shuffling through. And Our one loaf, our one faithful loaf that we had good plans for, she's looking mighty fine. Yes, she is. I just wanted to leave her in here a little longer. I mean, she's a little flat at one end, but it's okay. She's doing her thing. And then our last loaf has about 2 minutes, and we take the lid off. I'll show you how this girl worked out.
But there she is. We will slice her down. It'll be just fine.
I'm gonna just put this back in my oven and forget about it for a little bit. Nothing else is in there. I do want to get more sourdough going this week. We might do loaf bread. We love, like my people love these big chunky artisan loaves. 2 of my little fellas this morning each took a slice outside with butter and they're running in the sunshine. Yay, sourdough breakfast. I was doing my little laundry. These are my little bread caps. Just washed those out, rinsed my bowls out. Just gonna kind of set them around on these canners since I've got many canner projects I am spinning.
Thank you so much for watching, friends. All of our adventures that we had with getting the hundreds of pounds of tomatoes cooking, making 8 homemade loaves of sourdough, processing daily food that needed to be done, organizing the freezers, getting bags and bags of clothes to moms and children who need some fresh things, all the other adventures that we had. I appreciate you. Thank you for your questions and your insight and your advice with me working on my inflammation. And I just appreciate all your thoughts and all your prayers. And I thank you so much for watching. I'll see you real soon with another brand new video, and I'll talk with you in those comments below.